What's up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. These are my DraftKings MMA picks for UFC 268. We have Kamaru Usman going against Colby Covington, a very, very fun card. I cannot wait for this one. The main event's phenomenal. The main card's phenomenal, and lots of great fights scattered throughout the card. Before we get started and get into it, if you guys can please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, so not miss out on all the other content throughout the week. My full card breakdown and prediction video is out. I'll be going live Friday, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time after the weigh-ins, and I'll be going live once more Saturday, 1 hour prior to when the prelims start for Best Bet with me, Uncle Weezy, Narco Cop, and a special guest as well. So I say we get into it here, starting with the fight doesn't go to decision lines. Last week, 3 of the 4 on here did finish. And this week, I'm kind of expecting the same thing. I think the majority of these are going to finish as well. Starting with Michael Chandler going against Justin Gaethje, minus 260. Fight doesn't go to decision. And yeah, I think this fight does finish one way or another. Fun fact, Justin Gaethje has never been the distance in the UFC, and obviously neither has Michael Chandler. But this is a fight that I think someone's going down. I think it's one of those fights where they're just going to kind of, stand in the middle and bang until one man falls. Both guys are going to want to pressure. Both guys are going to try to land that big shot, get the other guy out of there. Michael Chandler is 35 years old. I don't think his cardio is great at this point. Maybe he comes in here with a wrestling heavy game plan against Gaethje. But even then, I don't really see him having success doing that for 3 rounds. I think he has about 1 round of cardio, because after that Oliveira first round, he was very, very tired. And it's not like he's getting any younger. Justin Gaethje, he's going to throw a ton of volume, but with that volume, he gets hit a ton. I think, Chandler's live. Chandler's definitely live for a knockout, and I think if he does win, it's going to be early. So, Michael Chandler, 7,300, is a guy that I don't mind at all. On the flip side, Justin Gaethje is a guy that I really do like. Justin Gaethje is probably one of my favorite plays on the slate, sitting at 8,900. If he wins, I see a ton of volume, and I probably see him knocking out Michael Chandler. But either way, someone's going down in this fight right here, and I think it's definitely one to target. Next, we have Pereira going against Andreas Michailidis. This is another fight that I think is going to finish as well. We have Michailidis, who... This guy is supposedly a black belt in BJJ, has some submissions on his record. I don't think his wrestling's the best, but if he is able to take down Alex Pereira, that very well could be a path to victory. The problem with Michailidis is his cardio is not great. Both these guys' cardio is not great. But yeah, Michailidis, he slows down as the fight goes on. I've seen him slow down in fights where he doesn't even grapple. This is a fight that I don't see going the distance, and this is a fight I really don't even see going to the second round, really. I think if Michailidis, takes him down early, he possibly could submit Pereira. We have seen Pereira submitted before. He has 4 MMA fights, all 4 of them, I believe, ending inside the first round. His very first MMA fight, he was taken down. He was submitted shortly after, and he's been taken down in the majority of the fights I saw. So, yeah, Michailidis has a path to victory here. He doesn't go for takedowns a lot. He went for a couple against Bueller, got one. Outside of the UFC, doesn't go for a lot. But yeah, if I was Michailidis here, I'd be going for takedowns, because on the feet, although I rate Michailidis pretty highly, Pereira's just on a different level. This guy's a beast. So yeah, I think someone gets finished here as well. I think both sides are definitely warranted here. But yeah, I think for me, I personally think Pereira is going to knock him out. We see that Pereira is sitting at 9,100. I like it a lot. But in terms of a pump play, Michailidis is not the worst option in the world if he does come in here with the right game plan. Next, we have Ian Gary going against Jordan Williams, a fight that, could finish. Jordan Williams, he's a very tough guy. He did get knocked down multiple times in his last fight against Mickey Gall, ultimately got submitted in that fight. And what I kind of noticed at 170 pounds for Jordan Williams, he's been finished 3 times. His fight is also at 170 pounds there. So, yeah, I could potentially see a finish here. Ian Gary, he's very good. This guy is very, defensively sound. He's very technical. He's good everywhere. Striking's good, very good jab, great combinations. The problem with Ian Gary in this fight is the price tag. So we take a look at Ian Gary. He's sitting at 9,500, which is definitely a steep price to pay, because I don't know if he's going to come out here and grapple. Williams is a very good takedown defense. I think he's going to kind of outpoint Jordan Williams. Maybe find a late finish. Jordan Williams does gas out bad. He is very hittable. I think Gary does win at some point, but yeah, 9,500, that's steep. So I don't know how much Gary I'm going to get. I do really think he wins. I do like him to win quite a bit, but that price tag is definitely up there. As far as Jordan Williams for a punt, he's not a terrible punt. If he does win, it's going to be by knockout. Gary's undefeated, never been knocked out, obviously, but if Jordan Williams does win, you got to think it's some type of knockout. So I guess Jordan Williams as a punt play is not the worst look in the world. But overall, a fight that I'm not overly interested in just because of the price tags. But I do think Gary does win. But 9,500, that is definitely getting up there. Next, we have Vergara going against Osborne, and this is a fight that I do think finishes. Osborne hasn't been out of the first round in like 8 or 9 fights. It's been a while, and I think this fight is going to finish inside the distance as well. So this is at 125 pounds. We see that Osborne is a finisher. Both guys are finishers. Osborne has a 89% finish rate, 56% by submission, 33% by knockout, and Vergara has a 67% finish rate. Osborne has been finished in 3 of his 4 losses, 2 by submission, 1 by knockout. Vergara has been submitted once in his 2 losses. I think someone's getting finished here as well. I don't hate Vergara as a dog spot here, but I think more than likely Osborne does get the win here. Osborne's very dangerous anywhere the fight goes, and I kind of think if Osborne comes in here with the game plan of getting this fight down to the mat, which he doesn't do too often, but when he does go down to the mat, he's very good. I think he can have a lot of success. I have seen Vergara taken down. I've seen him stuck off his back, so that could very well be a path to victory for Ode Osborne, and for him sitting at 8,700, I don't hate him. But as far as Vergara, he's dangerous in his own right. 7,500, we have seen Osborne knocked out. We have seen him submitted, so I don't hate a punch shot or like a dog shot on Vergara there at 7,500 there. It's not terrible. But we'll go to our core plays here. Kamaru Usman, 9,300, and I think you're absolutely going to have the winner of this fight. 14 fights or not on this card. There's going to be a pace on this fight that, everybody else on the card is not going to be able to keep up with. I think the winner of this fight probably does score the most out of every other single fighter on the card. So, pretty easy for me. I'm going 100% on this fight. I think if Colby wins, oh my goodness, it's going to be optimal. But if Kamaru wins, I think it's going to be optimal as well. I mean, the amount of strikes put up in that first fight of theirs was insane, and I kind of expect more same, about the same or even more in this fight as well. So yeah, Kamaru Usman, 9,300, maybe won't have much takedown upside. We know he usually does, but we saw last fight that nobody went to the takedowns. Even if that's the case, so like the amount of volume, 5 rounds to work with, extra 2 rounds, I think Kamaru Usman's a very intriguing option. Zhang Weili, 8,000. Yeah, another fight that I'm probably going to be 100% exposed to. Don't mind some Rose as well. She has 8,200. Zhang Weili is 8,000. Weili throws a ton of volume, lands over 6 significant strikes per minute. Extra 2 rounds to work with as well. I think the winner of this fight as well finds the optimal lineup. I think both title fights are going to be very important this week, and I am personally going on the Zhang Weili side. But again, if Rose does win, I think Rose scores a lot in her own right. So yeah, Zhang Weili for me, 8,000. She will be a core play of mine. Bobby Green, 8,600. I really like him to win here. I think he's safe. This is more of like a cash game play for me, though. Don't know if he has like an extremely high ceiling, but what he does bring is a lot of volume. He mixes in takedowns here. They don't really expect him to get takedowns in this fight, but tons and tons of volume from Green. I think he's very safe to win. I really do like him to win, and don't mind him as a cash play. In terms of tournaments, though, I don't know if I'll get there a ton. He doesn't have knockout upside, submission upside. I don't think he's been to. I don't think he's been like outside of the. I don't think a fight's finished for him since like 13 or 14 fights. I think it's been like since the Dustin Poirier fight, which was so long ago, since a Bobby Green fight has actually ended inside the distance. So I don't think the ceiling's quite there, but I think it's pretty safe for cash. Justin Gaethje, 8,900. I like Gaethje here quite a bit. Michael Chandler, 35 years old, coming off of a knockout loss. I don't think his chin's there. I don't think his cardio's there. Gaethje's going to have the better cardio. He's going to have the better durability. He's younger as well. Could Michael Chandler knock out Gaethje in the first round? Absolutely. But if not, I see Gaethje taking over as the fight goes on and finishing Chandler in that second or third round. I really like Gaethje this week, and he will be a core play of mine for sure. Moving on to our GPP plays here, our tournament plays. Alex Pereira, 9,100. This guy is dangerous. Michailidis has been knocked out in all 4 of his losses. That is definitely a path to victory here. And if he wins, I have a suspicion it'll be in the first round. So I actually think this fight as a whole is very, very important. I see it ending early. I don't see it going the distance. And to be honest, I don't even see it hitting the second round. So yeah, don't mind some Pereira in terms of a GPP play. As far as cash goes, I don't think I'd get there. Shane Burgos, 9,000. This is a fight that could be interesting as well. There's going to be a crazy pace set in this fight. Both guys throw a ton of volume. Both guys are very, very hittable. I think this fight scores really well. Shane Burgos is somebody I'm looking at. I think he's going to have the striking advantage here. He's going to need to stuff the takedowns if he keep it on the feet. I think it's a very winnable fight for him, and a fight where he can score a lot as well. I don't think he's going to have takedown upside if he wants to take down Quarantillo. I think he could, but not something Burgos does all that often. I think he has 1 takedown in the UFC, so not much takedown upside, but tons and tons of volume from Burgos here. I think Burgos is definitely somebody to look at in terms of tournaments. Burgos landing over 7 significant strikes per minute, as does Billy Q, and Billy Q has a 43% strike in defense. So I do think the volume is going to add up, and I can see Burgos putting up a solid score. Rose Namajunas, 8,200. Yep, we saw what she did last time, and we know that all fights are different, but yeah, maybe she does it again. I personally don't think so, but even then, like 5 rounds to work with, you get those extra 2 rounds, lots of volume thrown in this fight. If Rose does win, it's going to score well. It's probably going to be on the optimal lineup at 8,200. So yeah, don't mind some Rose at that price tag, but I'm more so on the Zhang Weili side myself. In terms of like the ownership for me personally, it's early in the week, but I'm kind of like leaning strongly in favor of Zhang Weili. Maybe like a 65-35 in favor of Zhang Weili. 60-40 potentially. I don't know yet, but I do like the Zhang Weili side, but I'm not going to completely ignore Rose here. Ode Osborne, 8,700. Yeah, this guy has not left the first round in, like I said, a long time. All of his UFC fights have finished inside the distance, whether he's getting the finish or getting finished himself. I think this fight is something important to target. He's very dangerous, 89% finish rate. He's dangerous on the feet. He's dangerous on the mat. He's big for the division. I don't mind Ode Osborne, 8,700. Will not go there in cash, but I think for tournaments, he's somebody to definitely keep your eye out for. Live dogs, Emin Shabazian, 7,700. Like, this guy's dangerous. He's very, very dangerous, but he's dangerous early. As the fight goes on, he does slow down a ton, and that's kind of my concern for Shabazian here. But if he does win, we're looking for upside. And at 7,700, if he wins, it's probably in the first round. He probably catches Imavov early. So for that reason, Shabazian, 7,700 is somebody that does catch my eye for a dog. Michael Chandler, same thing. I think if he wins, it's probably in the first round as well. I don't know if he has the cardio to, compete at the high pace that Gaethje is going to bring in this fight for 3 rounds. I think, round 1, potentially, yeah, he hits very hard. Gaethje's very hittable. I could definitely see Michael Chandler knocking out Gaethje if he does go to that wrestling. Michael Chandler is a black belt in BJJ, potentially a sub. But I just think Michael Chandler has about a round and a half to do it. But yeah, 7,300, Michael Chandler, I think it's a solid play. I think it's a very solid fight to target. I'm personally on the Gaethje side, but if Chandler does win, I think it scores really well. Billy Quarantillo, yeah, so Burgos is coming back from a very brutal knockout loss, coming back a little bit too early, in my opinion, after that Edson Barbosa knockout where Barbosa hit him hard. It kind of took him like 3-4 seconds to register, and he just went down, like a very brutal knockout loss. So he might be coming back a little bit too early. Quarantillo, I personally think he loses this fight, but I think he scores really well here. Even in a loss, like Quarantillo is going to score a ton, lots and lots of volume. Burgos is very hittable in his own right. Billy Q potentially could mix in the takedowns. We saw Makwan was able to take down Shane Burgos, control him here or there. Didn't have the cardio to keep it up, but maybe Billy does. So 7,200, I don't hate Billy Quarantillo in terms of a live dog here. Potential wrestling upside, I personally don't think he has success in getting down Burgos, but hey, if he does, yeah, 7,200, that's something to really look out for. CJ Vergara, 7,500. Yeah, I'm not completely sold on Ode Osborne and his durability. Got knocked out in his last fight. He's been submitted multiple times, finished in 3 of his 4 losses. Vergara came out in the Contender Series and starched his opponent. He's a dangerous guy, has knockout power. I think he's live. Yeah, 7,500 in a fight that I think is going to finish one way or another. Don't hate a shot on Vergara here in terms of a live dog. Getting into our pump plays, Andreas Michailidis, 7,100. Yeah, if he goes to the takedowns early and often, he could potentially submit Alex Pereira, and I've seen him taken down. I've seen him submitted easily. Michailidis, supposedly a black belt. So yeah, the path to victory is definitely there for Michailidis. So yeah, don't mind a couple shots on Michailidis there. And then Colby Covington, the definition of a very good pump play here. He's going to throw a ton of volume, like even in a loss. Like, this is a very easy fight to stack and cash. Even in a loss, Colby Covington's going to score a ton. This guy puts on a phenomenal pace with his striking, with his wrestling. We didn't see much wrestling at all in their first fight, and maybe he does use some here, but yeah, in terms of the striking, he's still going to throw a ton of strikes, and it's going to add up. We get the extra 2 rounds to work with. I think this is probably like the easiest stack and cash we've seen in weeks. Pretty easy. Stack up Kamara, stack up Colby. Pretty easy stack there in cash. But yeah, for tournaments, don't mind some Colby as well. If he does win, it's gonna be on the optimal lineup. I would be shocked if it was not. He's gonna throw up a lot of strikes. It's gonna add up. 6,900. I don't hate it. But yeah, guys, that is about it. It is the beginning of the month. I want to remind you guys, it's always a great time to become a member of the Patreon, especially at the beginning of the month. With that, you get full access to my model, my premium projections, my lineup optimizer, my GPP lineup percentages, DraftKings article, access to Discord, and much, much more. Uncle Weezy does the FanDuel and DraftKings stats, bunch of stats, a lot of stats that'll help you, navigate through the matchups and all that good stuff. Just lots of good stuff there. So check it out. Link in the description below. Hit like over 300 members last month, so appreciate you guys for that. And yeah, so that's about it, guys. Great card. Looking forward to it. Can't wait to make some money for UFC 268. We will talk to you soon. Live stream on Friday, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Make sure you are subscribed so you not miss out on that. Good luck, and let's make some money at UFC 268. See you guys.